on, guys? Today we are here with another episode of the Passion Pit, and I'm joined by a couple of handsome gentlemen. First, I got my co-host, Matt. Matt, how you doing today?
Doing great today, man. We got some Challengers action going down. Good day for Call of Duty. We got the league back as well. And I mean, we've got a banger of a guest here as well, man.
Handsome, too.
Yeah, for sure. Look, Mr. Magic, or aka Mike, whatever you like to call him, he said you could call him anything he wants, but coach for the Boston Breach Academy, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man, and you can also call me Daddy.
Oh, shit.
I'm kidding.
We're getting spicy on a Saturday, dude.
Yeah, man, getting a bit freaky. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you, Matt. How is yourself? And, of course, to you as well, Krim.
I'm doing good. I've been working all week, and Valentine's week in the restaurant business is always a grind for sure.
It's a fun one.
I can assume Matt can attest on that too.
Oh yeah, the two Roadhouse veterans over here from the good old Texas Roadhouse definitely know what it's like serving the tables on Valentine's Day, brother.
Yeah, might be former. We'll see how that goes. But
former Texas Roadhouse employees.
Yeah, no, but we're
turned
not here
podcasters
to talk about us. We're here to talk about the Boston Breach Academy, Challengers, and just how everything's going. So let's just jump right into it, Mike. We just had, we tried getting you on sooner, like after Major 1. Unfortunately, just times did not line up for us. Tried getting you on during, I guess it was during the Super Bowl, but you also had a cup that weekend. So we're here. Currently, you guys are competing for the Elite right now, right?
Yeah, we're currently, we literally just started, just as you mentioned that. Yeah, we're currently playing our first winners round 1, and then to qualify, we're playing Tom Gravity's team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've just started that.
Yeah.
How's the new? I was gonna say, how's the new roster feeling with you guys? Because obviously we had a couple of players, a great player retire from the scene. How's it been filling the big man's shoes?
So obviously it was a bit of a shock when Doug retired. Just to put that out there, it was a huge shock. I personally didn't know it was coming. No one on the team apart from Doug himself knew it was coming, although there was some hints because he mentioned it to me in the week before. But in regards to Cam coming in and filling Doug's shoes, Cam has been absolutely spectacular to work with. The guy's a star. Can I swear on this? Am I allowed to swear on this?
Absolutely.
So, just to annoy him in scrims, I call him Cummy MVP sometimes, just to try and get a reaction. But yeah, he's come in and he's been an absolute star. And it's been fun working with him so far.
Yeah, and I know last week we talked during the Super Bowl because we were supposed to record there, and you guys are going on a crazy run. Unfortunately, you didn't end up dropping to FC Black, correct?
No, we lost to Houston Spartans, which was Spart's team. Spart's team.
Yep.
Yeah, Spart, Prolu, Fire, and Dylan Rex. Great bunch of guys.
That was in the grand finals, correct?
Yeah, that was in the grand finals.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they went on a crazy losers run, and then obviously with the weights, some things didn't go against us. Never going to discredit them. Those guys are gross.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got shit on.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I know you were talking about I believe you said you watched the entirety of the Super Bowl while waiting. That's just, unfortunately, that's just how Challengers is. We were talking a little before the podcast, and the wait, especially when you're in that winner's bracket, the more you win, it seems the more you wait.
Exactly that. Obviously, there's always going to be issues when it comes to anything online. Even on where there's always issues. But 4.5 hours was kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for the guys coming through losers, they get to build up a bit more momentum. And then sort of we kind of get killed off in that time, everyone goes off, goes eat, everyone comes back and they can be warm, but it's just not the same. Momentum's a huge thing.
It's hard to get that locked in as you were at the beginning, right? Especially when you're in the beginning of those tournaments.
Exactly, yeah. When you're in the winners, you're going through it, you beat this team, okay, next thing you know, you're in the grand finals and you have to wait, and then all momentum is just gone.
Yeah.
It's it's like you get punished almost for winning a little bit, for having to wait almost that long, because it's like you said, like you go on that losers run, you start to get hot and you're playing consistently all day, you're just going to be in a way better position.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. Like, it's almost better nowadays with the whole best of 7 to come through losers.
Yeah.
Because there is really no winner's advantage. You get an extra veto. That's literally it. Yeah.
And it's just a longer series to play against a team that's already warm, right? Like
Exactly.
it's not 2 best of 5s where it's like, okay, you get that full bracket reset, let's both take 15 minutes and then we'll come back and play like a new series. It's just like you get thrown right into it.
You get
best
thrown
of
right
7,
into it.
all of a sudden you're down 2-0 and it's like, okay, well now we got to make up a lot of ground.
Yeah, and then by that time it's just like you're coming onto like their picks as well, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
it's very anti rewarding of the winners if you come through like the winners side of the bracket. But yeah, again, I'm never going to discredit any teams.
I mean,
Like,
it comes
yeah.
down to, I mean, both sides is a flip of a coin. Unfortunately, nowadays, as you said, there's not as much reward for doing the winners bracket run. But also, when you look at the losers bracket run, playing back-to-back-to-back series and just constantly keep going will get exhausting too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
of
I
course.
understand where you're coming from, like in terms of you don't want to discredit them because every team, especially in the top 6, top 8 teams, are mostly veterans, previous CDL pros, about to be CDL pros. Like there's a lot of great talent there, and it's hard when you have to you're sitting there for, as you said, 4.5 hours, and then just having to go in and get a heat check, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not to discredit anyone. Yeah, again.
No, yeah.
But like, yeah, sure, they can be exhausted, but they also get that extra bit of like belief. Not to say the winners team doesn't have it, but it's also, yeah, again, it's just about like being locked in. You're still like,
We're locked, yeah.
yeah, it's like
It's the mindset. It's the
yeah,
mindset
it's
going in.
it's the mindset. Yeah, like you get if you come through the losers, you know that they've had to have a long wait, and that's just, it goes in your favor then. You
Yep.
know.
Because you're almost thinking, it's like, dude, these guys have been sitting for 4 hours. We're warm. Our guns are hot.
Exactly.
We're ready to go in and fry. It's like we said, like the whole mindset going into the match can check you a little bit.
Yeah.
And back to that, just getting punished for winning. I did want to ask though, running the winners bracket, getting to the grand finals. I mean, obviously, it did have to be. Even though you guys lost it in, a little bit bittersweet because you do get. I mean, that's a really big bounce back performance coming back from the major.
Yeah, of course. Like, obviously, like, we have 100% got the talent and like the ability to win. There is without a doubt. Without a doubt, that is a fact with this team. Yeah, again, like, if we were to replay the series, obviously, I'm going to say that we'd win it. Like, if we're both warm, we've both played had the same amount of time to like prepare. Not one team has had to wait for ages. I would say that we'd win it, but of course, I'm going to say that
Yeah.
I'm
A little bit of
biased.
bias.
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
bit, little
exactly.
bit.
Well, only a hint. But yeah, again, if I didn't say that, then that's just me not believing in the boys. But yeah, so
Yeah, and I
think-
mean, and that coming off of, and I don't want to mess this up. In Major 1 in Boston, you got top 12 or 16?
yeah, we got top 12.
Top 12.
We got top 12.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure. Coming off of top 12, getting second in the cup, it just shows improvement. Yes, you had a change
100%.
between Doug and Cammy. That's two different players.
Very
I-
stylistically
yeah,
different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that definitely helped. And Cammy was going crazy in the cup as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Cammy's different. What you'll see out of like Sean next time like we're on stream playing, well in this elite coming up, Sean has really changed how he plays to get the best out of the team. Sean's not, believe it or not, to a lot of people's surprise, I suppose. Sean's not like a stiff player. He's not a stiff AR. Sean can move when he needs to. Traditionally when he first came up, he was an SMG. Obviously, now he's 25, but that boy can move. So he's learning how to like be effective in his role from just stiffening up a little bit and holding his lane, just to give Cammy a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think
yeah, you'll see that change.
That's a big change too for like sub players, because I know from back when I was playing like mostly subbed and like on some teams having to move to AR, that's always like the biggest hurdle, right? Is getting over that you don't got to be moving all the time. Stay still, watch an angle, and then it's like once you realize that, you like the gunny is good enough, especially from going to a sub to an AR. Like you're feeling like you're shooting so much more straight. And I definitely think Sean's gonna like I think thrive a little bit more in this role with Cammy added to the team. Just my personal preference from getting to cast you guys a lot, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have a little bit of a different edge to you now, and I won't say the team is necessarily better or worse, but I don't think teams want to play you guys as much right now.
No, not at all. Yeah, again, Cam has come in and like he's added to the great culture we have already. We've always had, well, what I specialize in personally as a coach is like team dynamics is like something that I'm really good at. Yeah, again, that's me declaring that. You can probably ask others and they will agree. Yeah, no, like team dynamics is something that I'm huge on. Just sort of creating a good environment and a good circle of safety for the players so they can perform to the best of their abilities. So, yeah, like Cam coming in has definitely added to that. We're going to be doing some other things this like upcoming week, which is, yeah, again, just going to keep on building what we already have. And yeah, funnily enough, we started doing GeoGuessr before every VOD review now for 15 to 20 minutes.
I was literally gonna ask, like, what is something you do to kind of build that team dynamic to get all the boys kind of, on the same page with the vibes and everything.
So yeah, when Cam first came in, that obviously he'd just been released from Thieves. He was a little bit down in the dumps, and I called him, and I could tell he was down in the dumps, but. Cam's a smart guy. He knows that he didn't have time to really like wait because challenges really never stops.
Yep.
So he sort of committed to us early, and like the first issue that came along was really just trying to get him and Pentagram to speak because they're very, I'd say reserved. They're quite reserved people. Like they're very they'll speak when spoken to. They won't go out of their way to start the conversation. So what my thing to do is how do I make that conversation happen? Okay. It's 15 minutes of something recreational and non-COD related to get them, vibing out together. And GeoGuessr worked a wonder, to be honest. Not going to put it strictly just down to that.
Who's the best GeoGuessr player?
Out of everyone in the team, all the players, or is that including myself?
I'm going to exclude yourself because I feel like there might be a little bias. I feel like you might try to flex a little bit here. Who's the best player at GeoGuessr?
Best player? Okay, I can't say our analyst either because Benny's quite good. Benny's actually the best. Probably Cam. Probably Cam's the best GeoGuessr player.
Yeah.
But yeah, before it was between doing GeoGuessr or Cards Against Humanity. But I had a look at some of the cards in Cards Against Humanity, and as tempting as it was, the guys like the stream, and we don't really want to.
Yeah, that's not a real streamable game.
If
some of the
cards, you might be able to. You just gotta really be careful.
Well, I don't
There's
know if you want to get caught saying something for the cards. Yeah. You don't want those sound bites.
Trust me, yeah. You don't want, yeah.
CDL player said what? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like literally on breaking point tomorrow, bro.
Spawn up clips, whatever the account name is, just post that. Yeah, the GG's career.
Yeah, see you later, man.
Nah, we never streamed that anyway. But it was just a little. There was obviously how Cards Against Humanity gets. That can get a little bit rogue sometimes. So.
A little bit rowdy.
Yeah, it's because you can. With the online one, did you ever do the pretend you're Yizzy one? Yeah, that one.
Yes,
that's
the exact one. That is the exact one I thought you were saying. Yes, that. So if you guys don't know, there's an online version of Cards Against Humanity that's not made by the Cards Against Humanity guys. I don't know who it's made by. It's insane. The cards they have written for that, you can't even say.
You'll go to prison for some of them.
You actually will go to prison. I don't know how that website hasn't got shut down. I will hit you up with the link. We will definitely. Hey, a new teamwork content creator little get together thing off stream. Perfect.
I mean, we can record it, but we'll have to clip some stuff.
You're going to have
to it is literally going to be only bleeps and blurs for the entire thing. It's just going to be a black screen.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
But yeah, that kind of leads into my next question. I'm curious. So, me personally, I've always loved the idea. Like, I don't have the skill to play COD anymore. I suck. But I want to start, like, dabbling and getting into like coaching in the challengers level. Obviously, I'm
Okay.
not going to be coaching Team Ward or FC Black or Boston Breach Academy.
You mean like a
but
top 32 team, top 16
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing?
top 32, even a top 64, just to like see how it feels. What's the uh day? What's the day for you like as a coach? Like, what
What's
do
the
you
day for
do
me?
to get the obviously you said you do geofilter, but how much VOD review? How much actual scrims do you like lock in? Like, what's your day as a coach? What do you like look to do each day as your
A day in
as
the
team's
life.
improving?
A day in the life. Okay. So, because I've switched up my schedule. Should I go off my degenerate schedule, or should I go off my my good healthy schedule? We'll
Let's
do the
make it.
degenerate.
Yeah,
Degenerate.
let's
I
get
wanna hear
let's
the
get
degenerate.
grimy. Let's
The
get grimy.
degenerate one. So, what time? So, what time would I get on, or what time would the team get on? Is that the
Just
question?
like
Just
the day in the
you,
life
just
of
you. Like what?
Just
Yeah,
me.
of you.
Yeah,
just
like
me.
what's your
As a coach.
routine?
Probably I'd get on at around about. What time do I get on? About 11 a.m. East. Scrims start at 2, and we do VOD at 1. I'd get on at around about 11 a.m. East and go through any VOD that I hadn't looked at from the night before, and then I'd sort of look for, okay, what's gone wrong here? How could we do this better? Or let's look at how the other team's playing it, and let's steal that, you know.
Mhm.
So I'd do that for a couple of hours. Obviously, I eat in that time as well, and then it's on for VOD at 1. Well, 15 minutes of GeoGuessr in that as well. And then about 45 minutes of VOD, and then practice from 2 till 7 is when we finish, and then can be later depending on whether we have a third set. Bear in mind, I work on UK time as well. Just put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm in the UK. So yeah, I mean, and then I'd watch VOD for another like 2-3 hours after. Like, yeah, again, sort of not rushing it, but just let's just skim through it first and then watch it. So yeah, that's pretty much my day.
Yeah.
So
It's a very degenerate day.
I was gonna say, bouncing off of kind of Krim's question there. So, that's a day in the life of like a normal thing. But let's say it's Challengers Day. You guys got a game. Like, what's the kind of the routine on game day? Like, you wake up in the hotel. What are you going through with the team in the match, out of the match? How does that looking for a day with you, like at
So-
the Challengers pit?
So for me, a lot of my prep gets done before I even get out to the event. Like by the time the event comes around, the boys sort of know what they have to do. It's just about reminding them. Like before I had an analyst, what I'd do was before every single event, I'd go through all the film I could from like online scrims, elites, whatever, put it onto a massive sheet, and then we just counter veto other teams when we go to the events, and slip some vetoes to other teams, and sort of rig the tournament a little bit. It's a little bit scummy, but it's challenges free for all. Yeah, that sounds bad to admit. No, but honestly, whatever it takes at that point. So yeah, I mean,
I was about to say, man, like that's just smart coaching right there.
Yeah.
yeah, a
Whatever
little
it
bit
takes.
scummy. It could be smart. It can be scummy from other teams' perspective. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Like if you've got boys in EU that you're friends with and they need some vetoes, then they'll help you out. They'll send you some for another team. You send them some. That's just how it goes, and everyone does it.
I mean, I think that's probably even in other sports as well,
Yeah,
bro. Like when you got a
exactly.
division, like you need this team to lose or this team to win, you hit up another coach who's already beat. Like I think that happens across. That's just like I said, smart coaching, man.
Yeah, it's just it's also making the world bend to your will a little bit and taking whatever action you can.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
a little bit as Machiavellian as that is, like that's kind of the way you have to do it. So yeah, but when it comes to the events, I usually wake up first before all the other guys. I'll get down to the event first just to make sure that like no issues happen, like we don't want to get forfeited. Yeah, I'll get down there quite early, literally as soon as the venue opens, and then pretty much like I have everything already sorted, so I just wait for the guys to get down, or I text them, okay, be here in 15, and then they get to the setups. I'll speak to them. I'll say, okay, we're playing this. Okay, make sure you do this. And if it comes to S&D and I've scouted like another team's like defaults, like what bomb sites they prefer, where so and so plays, what I'd do was if it was like when Doug was still on the team, I'd just say it to Sean, because Sean, yeah, again is like sort of the play caller in S&D. He's
Yeah.
sort of always been like the in-game leader as such, because he's got a very what's the best way? He's got a very like dominating voice. He's he's bald. He's also Scottish.
He sounds very confident in the mic.
Yeah. He's he speaks. Yeah, right, mate. They're doing this, mate. They're doing this. So that's
a nice Scottish voice to listen to. I mean, we know that. We know that.
Yeah. So I just give it to Sean because Sean's my guy. And then it's just up to them whether they turn up or not.
I was about to say, what's kind of the difference now? Because Call of Duty is a little different among other esports with the coaching situation where you can't be in their ears. You can't be sitting right behind them, kind of like coaching them in game. It's mostly just kind of in between games. Would you like it if it swapped back to where you could be like in their ear as well, kind of coaching while watching at the same time? Or do you kind of like it how it is now where you're
I kind of like it how it is now.
Matches? Okay.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't half mind it if like in between like control rounds or S&D rounds you could say something. I wouldn't mind that at all, I guess.
But like hardpoint, you don't want to be kind of like how they are in Halo. You don't want to be in their ear, kind of directing the being the director.
No. I think if that's gonna happen, it has to be for the round-based game modes. Just sort of it not even anything specific. If anything, a lot of our bad habits come from like spreading the map too much in S&D. Meanwhile, S&D it's very like you have to give and also take.
Yeah.
And then sort of just play off like the information after you get a pick or you get control of a certain part of the map. So I mean, I wouldn't half mind that for the round-based game modes, control and S&D. But yeah, not for hardpoint at all. I can do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. In scrims, it's kind of different. In like practice, I don't mind like chiming in and say, okay, make sure you work this together, just to get them into the habit of doing something.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to game day, like I'm sort of on the boat of, I believe that you should already be prepared. The team should know what they're doing, and then it's just a matter of whether they turn up and whether you play the vetoes right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about like the how the setup is in general, I do want to get into just challengers. We obviously had Major 1. Boston put on a great challengers event. I thought the venue was dope. Unfortunately, right now, I don't know if you have any more information than what I've heard. I think they're still working on it for Miami of it being in the same arena at the same time. Do you have any information? This episode
I do not
come out a week later, but yeah, as far as I knew, originally the thought was it was gonna be in a different area about 50 minutes away from the venue, from the main event.
I don't mind it, but like to be honest, I haven't really been stressing about it as such. I'm quite fortunate with my situation, like being on an academy team. Like Denz, the GM, great guy by the way, shout out Denz. He'll sort of like sort all the travel and accommodation, and make sure we're catered for on that sort of front, and the team passes as well. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not really like, I don't really stress about that as much. If we have an event, we have an event. Obviously, I know it's preferred to have an event. I want the event to happen. But like, if it doesn't happen, then it is what it is. Yeah. Let's just focus on the controllables at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like that answer. We don't get that answer a lot. Usually, it's obviously
it's
one end.
A little bit more stressful.
Yeah.
And I think that is the good team, and the good thing. And I think I wish that more CDL teams had academy teams like that, because I feel like it really makes it kind of easy for those challengers players, and obviously a roster like you guys that is a little bit at the higher end of challengers, we'll say, definitely to that top 8, top 4 looking as well right now.
We're beating everyone. If Cam doesn't get picked up, we're winning it all. I'm convinced.
Look, I gotta put you guys at number 2 just because of team war. You know what I'm saying?
Understandable.
I got a little bias. Those are the boys. You know what I'm saying? We gotta.
Understandable.
We're up 1-0 this year.
Yeah, we're up 1-0, dude. We're up 1-0. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about all time though.
All time? I don't know if I want to. Hey, look, we're 1-0 since Krim and I joined. Okay, we're 1-0. Look, we're 1-0 since we joined, dude. It's all Krim and I, dude.
I understand. I worked for War back in Cold War. Kev, I love your owner. Kev's so nice.
Yeah.
Shout out Kev.
Shout out
Kev is
Kev.
a legend,
Shout out
man.
Kev, even though he ditched us on the live version of the
We
podcast.
can't bring it up another time, bro. We already made a whole podcast based off
We
of
made
it.
a whole podcast. There was like 3 clips for it. I'm milking
Oh.
that. But no, so I love that answer on the challengers. Like, obviously we want as many events for challengers, but it's what can happen. Like, there's all this stuff going on behind the scenes in terms of teams being able to just put on an event, let alone put on a challengers event with it. And now we have, and I'm going to bring it up, this is the first episode since the rumors. Now we have a few people in the Call of Duty community suing Activision.
That's wild.
That's not even a rumor. That's just that's confirmed at this point.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
not even a rumor. It
100%
is
confirmed.
Well,
Any thought on that? Like, either of you? Like,
I mean, personally, like, yeah, again, it's like if it was all the league teams sort of like suing them, then that would be a huge issue. But since it's one team, it's not going to be the death of COD esports. COD isn't going anywhere. As much as, well, actually, I've got to be careful what I say because
Yeah,
I'm
I think
contracted.
I was about to.
Yeah,
I was about to
um,
say. I don't know if this is a topic we want to necessarily get on the
here's
road
thing.
with.
We want
It's-
Call of Duty
it's insane.
esports to succeed. No matter what
100%.
form it is, we are here because we enjoy it and we love it. No matter what form
Yeah.
we get.
The one thing I will say that this just kind of irks me about this isn't anything to do with like the potential lawsuit that's going on, but just more about how the league's marketed as a whole. So when you get on COD, do you remember back in the day, you'd get on Black Ops 2, you'd have message of the day come up, and that's the first thing you see when you go on the multiplayer menu.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you come on COD, where's the message of the day? You have to scroll to find it. What they have to do is just to also just help, competitive Call of Duty in its current state, with it being the CDL, like, on the message of the day, just promote the drops that you give out anyway, and then just put it on message of the day. So look, you get some nice, cool skins and charms and shit.
Just for
And
watching.
Yeah, just for watching.
Just
And
for
people
watching.
just have it, and yeah, it's just good because everyone thrives off that as well. They just don't market it correctly. I don't know.
One
whether-
thing. I was about to say one thing I love about Counter-Strike is how they market their pro scene. Is like it used to be in Counter-Strike 1, I haven't played a lot of Counter-Strike 2, but in CSGO, when you would load up into the game, one of the first things you would see is like they would have a whole newsletter of what had been happening in
Yeah.
their pro scene, right? It'd be like Navi just beat FaZe 2-1, have a picture of them holding up the cup. And you're like, holy shit, that looks sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
let
but-
me check that out. They not only had that, they had where if you went into previous matches, you could not only see you could see your whole history, right? But you could click on tournaments. They had every single major with the bracket of what happened at that major and the scores and all of the special drops that they did.
And yeah, and
It's
also
such-
you'd have sticker capsules and other little
Yep.
things you could buy.
Yep.
Like where we should be doing
Yep.
that for COD as well. Where is the Toronto Ultra sticker capsule and
Literally
potential weapon
with the
skins?
signatures, with the weapon skins, like
Yeah.
they're missing a huge market on, like you said, promoting the CDL and like getting more money for the CDL as well. Like a lot of people are talking about, oh, there's no money here, there's no money there. It's because no one promotes it. Like we don't even have an ad running. You know what I mean? No one even made a YouTube graphic. You know what I mean? Just throw up a little thumbnail.
When you
like,
go on ranked as well, they need to just promote the teams on there as well. And all the
Yes.
players
Well,
put their COD wiki bios on there.
So
Yeah.
another thing too, and I know Adam Apicella talked about it on the flank a couple weeks back. We've had like little nuances throughout COD since day one that have been trying to do that, but then we get rid of them. So remember back, obviously during the older CODs before we got the CDL, there was a lot of like promoting when rank drops, usually when this league started, and the league would promote ranked, and ranked would promote the league.
The league, exactly.
And then we get the MW19. MW19 had MLG connected to the game.
Yep.
And then another thing that I believe there was a couple CODs, MW19, Cold War, and I think Vanguard, maybe 2 of those 3. There was a little section where you could click into matches where it would show the teams, the matches that were being played that day, the upcoming matches, what the score and outcomes were. That they had little parts in a few of those CODs where you could go in and see the matches without having to leave the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how it is for
But then we
Counter-Strike
take
as
them
well.
away.
And
why do we?
Yeah, we take them away. Sorry.
Why?
No, you're good.
It's like, why?
It's just like we add them for, like, we add a few things that are good for each COD, something new every time, but then we take them away and then add something different. Why can't we just keep these and just keep compounding into it to where we have an intricate esport that is connected with the game that we are playing?
And then on the Activision side of things, they say, oh, well, the CDL doesn't bring in enough money. It's the casual fan base that really does for Call of Duty as it is. But the CDL could also bring in a lot of money. They just don't market it to the point where they get enough money. And what would that mean? That means potentially bigger prize pools. That means better money going towards, the developers. Everyone sort of wins if they do that as well,
Yeah.
Just for them to market it a little bit more.
And,
a little bit, a teeny weeny bit.
I get that casuals are kind of what is a big supporter financially for Call of Duty right now, but like at the same time, I feel like everybody is kind of a casual when they first bought COD, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you get into it, and then you're like, oh, ranked play, what is this? Let me try this, and then you kind of get in love with that, and then you see the esport, and you start watching that. Like it's the steady process of how somebody gets into an esport. Like it's the same way, like how I got into Counter-Strike. Like I just started playing because it got free to play one day, so I just started playing it a little bit, and then I started looking at the competitive game mode. I think also big disconnect is, why do we release a game that does not have like even just a pub mode where you can play the game of how it's played competitively? At no point in time has COD ever been a 6v6 game mode competitively. So it's like, why do we consistently leave 6v6 in, but give a 4v4 option? I remember Vanguard, the only one of the good things I'll say about Vanguard was when they had the option of where you could literally do, it was like CDL Mosh Pit, I think, or that might have been MW2, but you could literally choose between 6v6, 8v8, 10v10, and 12v12. You could pick which one you wanted to do. It's just add 4v4 in there. Yeah. Let the game be played how it is played at its highest competitive level.
I've always, and I mean, we're really getting into like, not nitpicking, but we're leaving the Call of Duty, the challengers, and we're just talking about competitive Call of Duty as a whole, which is fine. But I've always had an idea, and I made it, like I was tweeting on X or whatever it's called now.
I still call it 12.
Yeah, and I had the idea, remember in MW19 where we had the CDL Mosh Pit?
Yeah.
Why can't we have that and then a ranked play? And and what you could do with the CDL Mosh Pit in the ranked play right now, we just had new weapons drop. Pros are still debating on what's GA'd, what's not GA'd. There's new maps. Why can't we put those maps and those weapons in the CDL Mosh Pit for a week or two?
And also
where
test
rank
it.
Doesn't matter, and you can test things out.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You make it just like a pubs game mode, but you play it at a 4v4 level. And like, you don't even need... I would love for ranked play to be released right when the game came out, like most other games. But if it's not going to be, like Kern said, at least give us that 4v4 game mode so we can at least get a feel for what the spacing and the timing is going to be like. Because it's like pubs, the timing and spacing is completely different. There's 4 extra people on the map. Yep. Like, that's a whole nother team. Like, it's 8 people versus 12 people on the map. That's in crazy difference between timing and spacing and how the map plays.
Well, I will say as well, like, just as a coach, like when the beta came around, when like we were playing like Skid Row Hardpoint in the beta, I literally just brought up the map and then just recorded that just to like figure out like the spawn system for the game, because I'm a little weirdo. Mm-hmm. And like you could do that with like the mosh pit or like the rank thing. Like if you limit it.
I feel like you can't do that as well in a 6v6, and maybe you can, but I definitely cannot figure out how it's like when I'm in pubs. Like, I think spawns are fucked in ranked, and then I'll play a pubs match and I'm like, oh dear God, I was wrong. They can get worse. I can't.
I got my mastery camo and I never touched it.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, there needs to be that kind of free play game mode that's still a 4v4 for people to play when they don't want to just grind off on ranked. You know what I mean? Like, You want to just play a little 4v4, time and spacing still the same, but you know what I mean? Maybe I'll pull out an LMG
No
for
skill-based
fun.
matchmaking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
I mean, you already
that
have
we
ranked
could.
in pubs. Just without
Yeah.
No,
actual rank.
my thing is for a specifically ranked play. Your skill-based matchmaking is stronger than your actual rank. Like, so take for instance,
Yeah.
I have one of my friends who's a CCL player. Right now he's in Diamond 2 because he had two separate accounts, but this another account he's been ranking it all the way up. He's in Diamond 2. I'm in Diamond 1. I will never play against Crimsons in my lobby. It doesn't happen. Very rarely does a Crimson pop up.
Yeah.
If he joins, there's going to be 4 Crimsons on the other team. And it's like that skill-based matchmaking is stronger than his Diamond 2 rank. It should be putting us against other Diamonds, maybe at the most a Crim 1. And I'm literally playing a dude who's a game off iridescent. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit's insane.
We definitely got off on a tangent there, which is fine. I love talking about random shit too. But let's lock it back in. I do want to get back to the challengers. We talked about Major 1, we talked about the Cup. You're currently any updates on how the team's going? You said it was gonna be a nice good one to start out. So how are they doing? I know they're playing right now, right?
Yeah, I keep when you get my video come through, you'll see me like keep on scanning over just to see. Yeah, no, as I said, they've been pretty good. Like scrims has been really productive. I think like we've been scrimming a lot of different teams. Like we scrim pro teams as well. We've been splitting maps versus the pro teams. So I mean I won't say who, out of respect for the pro teams, but like the team we have currently could easily be like mid to top table in the league.
I was going to say
top.
that.
Like even just based off the games, like we got Cam and we got Sean, we got Pentagram, who is arguably the best sub in challengers for the past like 3 years, and then also Yeez, who won champs last year, who's just completely gross. Like we could definitely compete in the league and do pretty well, like without a doubt.
That leads into a perfect hypothetical question. Yeah, perfect into a hypothetical situation here, as Krim says. So let's say Boston Breach. I know he does. Let's say Boston Breach, they're the main team. They can't play anymore. Something happens, the whole team can't play anymore. They say we're throwing the whole academy in for the next major. What are you guys placing?
Hypothetically.
On this patch, like if it was like
this-
right now and like Miami was tomorrow.
Yep.
Right
Okay.
now, Miami's tomorrow. You guys are loading in, let's say, losers bracket, because you guys are a brand new team. Losers bracket against who we got to put them up against? Seattle Surge. How are we feeling?
Losers bracket? I wouldn't be against Seattle Surge if they're starting out in losers bracket.
Let's
Depends how low it'd be, actually.
Let's just get your thought on what you would be able to place. I mean,
I reckon for like if we were to go in like tomorrow, I reckon we could get minimum top 6. Minimum.
top 6. I think that's what
Ooh.
Marty B said too.
That's
Yeah.
what Mark said about the Team War Boys, yeah.
Yeah, I think we could get minimum top 6. Yeah, when it comes to like when we make like Sunday, because we will make Sunday, because I'm gonna say we place higher than top 6.
Top
Like
4.
that. Yeah, well I'll say top 4. Fuck it, I'll say top 4.
Yeah, I mean if you're,
Yeah.
if you're
You're making it to Sunday, you're top 4.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say top 4.
I love that.
When it comes to Sunday, like it just comes to who's prepared more and who just turns up, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then again, just trying to be also like realistic in this. There is like I also want to bring Rio into our map pool properly, which we're going to be testing out in this qual today, which obviously people won't find out until after. But yeah, we'll be testing Rio today versus Tom Gravity more than likely. If like that's going to be good in like a competitive like match, then I reckon we could place pretty well. I reckon we place top 6, top 4.
Have you guys been scrimming it at all? I don't want to like get too into it, but how are you guys feeling about Rio? That's one that you guys are definitely feeling really comfortable on.
I wouldn't say really comfortable. I'd say like
It's still new.
yeah, it's still new. We struggled on it for like the first 3 days because there was a few teams ahead, but we've caught up to them and we've started like beating them on that now. Yeah, like we've really kind of caught up like the last 3-4 days, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just making big
Yeah.
strides.
Yeah, making pretty big strides just from looking at how other teams are playing it and just doing VOD on it.
Nice.
The map plays pretty well though. I'm excited to see after Miami when Vista comes in. I think Vista will be coming in. Depending on how much they fuck up the game in the time. If they fuck up Invasion or Subbase even more, then I reckon Vista's coming in for one of those maps. That map looks really good, by the way. Separate note.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited we're adding some new maps into it. Another hypothetical here that I know Krim's gonna like. I saw a tweet today. No. I don't think so. I saw a tweet today. Somebody said that because they added that Modern Warfare 2 maps mosh pit right into the game. A lot of people are saying some of the maps, particularly from last year, would actually play perfectly this year with the addition of the new movement and stuff. Are there any maps from last year that you think if they added it to the map pool, the boys would just be gross at?
I personally just obviously I'll answer that, but I also want to say like I wouldn't want any like maps from last year in, personally speaking. Only because like not all of them had 5 hills, like Mikado, Hotel had Mikado had 7, Hotel had 6. So I mean, if let's say
maybe
one
specifically
was to
for
come in,
S&D.
maybe for S&D, I wouldn't mind like Hotel.
I think that's the
Hotel would
main
be
one
pretty
people have been
good.
saying too.
Hotel.
A lot of people have been saying Hotel is better than some of these maps.
If we want to say hardpoint, I'm going to be really weird and I'm going to say Mikado because we were really good at Mikado last year.
I thought without the 7 points, I thought Mercado was actually a pretty good map. Like
Well,
the
you could have had
spawns
5.
didn't make.
You could get rid of
You could have
two.
just and that's what I'm saying. You could easily take out 2 of the hills.
2 hills on top of each other and 2 hills in front of each other on both sides of the map.
Yeah, just take out either one, right? Like and I'm not gonna lie, Mercado was a fun map to play. It was a really fun map to play.
Yeah.
It's mixy. The one thing which, like, just speaking about this game, why some of the maps are a bit suspect is, why some of the maps feel a little bit suspect is because the spawn system that they've used is the Vanguard spawn system, and it's genuinely just like it doesn't fit this game like at all with just how the maps are. So, like,
I remember the spawn trap you could do on Bokash P3. They're literally just spawning outside, and you're just shooting them through the windows and doors as soon as they spawn in.
yeah,
Back Bocage 2024.
hell no.
Bring back Bokash 2024. I'm here for it. Make me a shirt
That'd
right
be
now.
like- yeah, that would never come back.
Can you imagine running a
Since we're
rival on
since we're on
Bokash?
hypotheticals, this is my favorite one to ask. I was
for
hoping
it.
Matt wouldn't steal this one.
No, never. I
This
never
is
steal from.
this is
This is bread
this
and
is a
butter.
new this is the segment we're gonna call it, Matt. It's gonna be MYGM mode.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it for challengers because obviously you have your challengers team. I'm gonna do
Okay.
it for the CDL. If you were a coach right now, and everyone was a free agent, and you could pick up 4 players in the CDL that are currently in the CDL, who would you pick?
That's a good
What
question.
team would you form?
Well,
Super team,
I'd still be at Boston, but you see, I think I could make it based off like the players at Boston. I reckon I could make a very good team based off like the academy and then keeping like 2 people from the main team.
Actually, before we keep going, I do want to give one more condition. You can only
say
pick
Boston.
1 person per team.
1 person per
Yeah, so
team.
So you can't
okay.
pick up like
Yeah.
Abizi and Simp or Pred and
Shotzi,
Shotzi.
you gotta
Acad
pick him
really
from
would be the best
one.
pick, but
That's true. 1 from each team.
Kenny.
Kenny,
Saying
great
Kenny.
pick. I love Kenny.
Kenny,
Yeah.
I'm saying at BZ.
Ooh.
I'm saying. Okay, I'll throw a spanner in the works. A Boozer.
Ooh.
A Boozer on an AR. And then. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna change from a BZ to Simp, and then I'm gonna go with Snoop as well. Then Simp and
Ooh.
Snoop.
Kenny
Yeah, so-
Sambuza.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dirty roster. Bro.
It's probably not one that you'll hear a lot, but yeah,
I think it's a sleeper.
I
It's a
think they
sleeper.
win, but they win games. Like that
They win
team knows
games.
how to win. You know what I mean? And like, you got a lot of IQ on that with Kenny, and you switch it to Simp as well. Yeah. So I mean, you just let Snoop go out there and be a menace.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, like Sim
Yeah.
can do it all really. Kenny is just like a straight like winner. Like the guy, like I've heard numerous good things about how he is as a person as well. Never spoken to the guy, by the way. Um, okay, I'm gonna say coach. I'm gonna add another coach as well, Crowder.
We
I
love
like
Oh.
Crowder in there as well.
So
yeah.
you and Crowder couch
Crowder.
just
Yeah.
coaching the
'Cause-
boys.
Yeah, because I can do the analyst role as well, and then I could just that guy's just the
The
goat.
coach.
Yeah,
The
he's
coach.
the coach. So yeah, that's what I'd form.
That's a-
Um,
that's-
I,
sleeper
I
team, I
like
think.
that team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause,
I love that team because, again, like you said, you don't hear that. That's a team you wouldn't really think about put together.
yeah,
But you
and
wanna-
a lot of people would say like Dashy. Like if we're looking at team, people say,
They're
"Oh,
picking like
Dashy."
the
Nah,
flashy, the star players. You know what I mean?
No, I want I want people that do some dirty work as well. Kenny's not afraid to do dirty work. He can also, he'll turn up when he needs to. Snoop is just by the way, next 3 years, if things keep on going the way it is for Snoop, Snoop's going to be a complete superstar, like guaranteed. By the way.
Kind of on that Hydra level. Kinda
Yeah,
like how it happened.
yeah. I knew that from the first two scrims of working with him. Literally the first scrim I knew. I
See, the reason I like your
Ooh.
team,
I
the
might-
reason I like your team, it's a coach's team. And like you could definitely tell from you, like being a coach, like we've asked a couple other people this, and you are right, they kind of tend to go with those like crazy star players, or like I want Hydra, Scrap, Pret, like all those guys. But I like the kind of dirty, grimy team. It like wins games, grinds out series.
you can't have 4 like stars though,
It
you have
never
4
works.
stars. Yeah,
It
you have
never
like
works,
look at
man.
Optic. Look at Optic.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
man.
pain. I'm not much of an Optic fan. I mean, then again, I'm sort of like 50-50 on a Boozer or Ghosty because I worked with Dan on Vanguard and like, I love Dan. Dan's my guy. So I could even say
That's-
Kenny and
I
Ghosty.
feel like-
It would be Kenny
I
and
feel
Ghosty
like
or
those
Kenny
are-
and a Boozer. But
I
Kenny's
feel
a
like
lock.
those would be interchangeable. Like with Kenny, like Kenny can work with anybody. I really feel like. So I mean, Boza or Ghosty, or Abuza or Ghosty, it's like whoever you want to put him in.
Well,
for. I mean,
it's more for because like obviously Kenny's one, Simps one. With the whole reason I'm leaning more towards Dan now. Fuck, it's out of bias. Sorry, Abuza. I haven't spoken to Abuza before, but yeah, sorry, Abuza, if you end up watching this. I'm gonna go with Dan and Kenny because they can both like pop off when they need to. They play the game correct. Dan, like they're not like morons. Snoop, you just want to give him a
Let him-
huge
let
box
him
to
fry.
work in, and then just
Yeah.
play around him, and then Simp's just gonna get all the cleanup kills after.
Yeah. Now,
and then
that's
also
still a
you
good team.
you never know
I
when
love
he's gonna
it.
go on a
I
16
love Dan.
streak.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dan over Abuza, just because from what I've seen of Dan, he can do a bit more. He can also do the nitty gritty work, as much as Kenny can, and they can both also pop off. So yeah, I'm
And I feel
going with
like
that.
Dan is just a guy you can easily plug into rosters. You know what I mean? Like it seems like
Yeah.
even with that Optic roster last year, like him just getting thrown into like the biggest spotlight, and he just performs as well as he did in challengers.
And
Like,
I
it was-
feel,
Exactly.
I feel like that squad's gonna be a vibey squad too, because I know,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've talked to 3 of them. I haven't talked to Snoopy, but I have talked to Kenny. He's a very cool person outside of the game. I've talked to Dan a few times, and I talked to Chris quite a bit as well. And they're all like very vibey outside the game.
Yeah. Snoop's like a little bit more reserved because he's quite shy. He's a really
He's
smart
new, yeah.
kid. But people don't know this. He was training to be a doctor before he
Oh, really?
started playing. He was training to be a
Wow.
doctor before he pretty much turned 18. Said to his mom, "Let me just play 1 year and see how it goes," and then he was in the league.
That's insane.
So,
Bro,
like,
what
and
a
So
story.
last year as well was the first year he started playing respawn, as well.
That's insane. Just an S&D grinder before that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
So as I
Wow.
said, like next couple years you'll see Snoop like blow up because the kid is he's a special player. Just you can't put him in a box too much, you know.
And I even feel like that main team now, with the addition of Asim, is highly underrated, bro. Like that team before the season even started was a highly underrated team.
I'll be biased. I don't know how much I can say here.
Say
I'll
whatever
get-
you want, man.
I'll
Say
have
whatever
to-
you want. We love the spicy intel, dude.
Oh, you might have to bleep it though. You might have to bleep it.
We can believe whatever you want. That's
Yeah,
that's
could
another
you
thing.
bleep it?
It's recorded. Yeah,
let's,
yeah.
let's hold
Yeah,
it
yeah.
up until after.
Oh yeah, because we could just
Then
we'll
we can
end
just
recording.
stop
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then we don't have to worry about the bleeping part.
Okay, bet.
Which we are getting.
I was about to say we're coming up on the 50-minute mark here, boys.
I don't know. Mine's at an hour, but I also started it really early. And this is gonna be a long episode, but I don't care. I've talked about it in the past, and I gotta be careful about what I say. We all do because we're talking about the CDL here.
Yep.
But I think the CDL could have a good format if we just added pool play into it. Do something along the lines, and I think Halo does this, where there's the invited teams that are like the pro teams.
The franchise teams,
The franchise teams. And then you have the open bracket, where that open bracket plays into the matches against the franchise teams into the pool play.
Yep.
And then you get into the main bracket, where those teams that made it all the way through pool play then play in the main bracket.
Yeah. It's a perfect system, and it's kind of what we've seen with the Pro-Am in the past, and we've talked about it on our live podcast. We've talked about it in podcasts in the past where we don't really understand why there wasn't a Pro-Am this year, when it's, besides Champs, probably the most fun event to watch or go to. And I think that's just what COD originally was, right? It's, there's literally 4 random friends that just wanted to get together and play a tournament one weekend, and they get thrown into a match against Optic. And even if they lose, it's still cool for them, because it's like, holy shit, I just got to play across from Scump. Back in the day, it's like, dude, I just got to play across from Scump. Yeah, like, even if we get slammed, like, that's still a big deal, and it's going to make those guys want to go back and even get better, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be like,
they made it before.
I played against Scump in Boston, and all
this
that
guy, here he goes.
Make me want to go for more. Like,
well, actually, it did.
I
was about to say, yeah, because you literally said, he goes, the whole time, I think I heard him talk about it the entire weekend. He goes, man, they gave me a fucked up contrloller. Like, if I had a good controller, like, my buttons were flipped backwards, dude. My slide button was my jump button. Like, dude.
Okay, here's the thing. This is gonna
you were playing on stick and move?
What's that?
No way. You played on the stick and move?
Yeah.
That's joked.
So in Boston, they did the 1v1 with Scump. I don't know if you saw any of that.
I did not.
They're doing a YouTube video, and the reason I'm bringing this up now is because Scump said something on his watch party about shitting on me. I'm upset about that.
Bro, you got shit talk about the GOAT.
I mean, hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I say I win in a 1v1 if I didn't have a scuffed controller, not scuffed controller. I wasn't on Zinny's settings or whoever's settings I was on. Zinny's in my ear behind me talking about, like, you gotta pre-aim that. Like, no shit. Meanwhile, I'm what was I doing? I was trying to slide and I was jumping, and then I was trying to reload and I was like swapping weapons. Like, my settings were chalked.
Sounds like the old
fixed my
uncle
settings.
that's
I
like...
went down 9-0. I fixed my settings. As soon as I fixed my settings, I 3-pieced them. Like, I'm just saying. I want a rematch. Okay, enough about.
You want the rematch? He's calling out Scump for the rematch.
So,
that's insane.
So, Magic, I got we'll try to wrap it up here. I got one last question for you before you get out of here.
That's good.
We got I don't know if you've seen them yet, but the FaZe Black Academy roster. So the dudes from the U18 that got moved up, they got picked up by FaZe. I've personally got the pleasure of casting them a lot, being in the U18 league, and even getting to cast them the other night. What do you think about the kids, man? Because, I mean, this is probably the most talented group of U18ers we've seen in a very, very, very long time. I mean, we've been hearing them slamming pros. We've heard Preds getting them PC checked. Have you guys got to play any against them? Or, I mean, obviously you said you've been watching them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a little bit. I've seen a few tweets. Yeah, they seem gross. Like, more power to them. Like, if they're gonna take the risk and get into competitive Call of Duty, it's best to do it now when you have no other commitments. You know, you haven't got a girlfriend, you haven't got college or, college tuition fees to pay for. You haven't got to work a job. Take the risk now. See how far you can get, and if you can get far, then follow through with it. So I think they're doing a great thing. I think FaZe Black is doing an amazing thing. Taking them on and putting them in the under-18 leagues. So I mean, to those guys, if they end up watching this, then fucking keep on doing what you're doing. Like, you guys are smashing it. Like you're in a very privileged position as well. You got a lot of eyes on you. Just make a name for yourself, go far, and hopefully you'll be coached under me at one point.
I was about to say, do we think we could see any other of the franchise teams start kind of doing that, where they pick up maybe some kind of cracked kids that, they're not in the age group for challengers yet, but kind of trying to maybe coach and get these kids under the right wing, a little bit earlier?
Yeah, not even just like the kids in this game, but also like maybe like I know Toronto did this a little bit, but just put some like funds into the female WXC league.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the FBC, because I know there's a scandal going on with that at the moment. Where
WXC, man, shout out to the
Yeah.
WXC with Acad.
Yeah, shout out Acad. Never met the girl. Seems lovely though. Yeah, they should definitely do something like that. Like we know a lot of these org owners. I know a lot of them don't like to spend money, but there's a lot of them with the whole "fuck you" money sort of gig going on. So if you got money to spare and you are feeling generous, put it into COD and let's grow this baby.
Yeah.
Let's grow it even more. So yeah.
What a way I was just saying, what a way to end it. Throw somebody to the scene, give some love to COD, man.
People like I'm a Call of Duty competitive fan, but I'm also a Call of Duty fan.
Yeah.
Like,
we all are, man.
Yeah,
I think we all are. Like, we obviously want like competitive Call of Duty to thrive. We're in here. It's a passion project. Everyone here knows like where the roots are, where we started. It wasn't anything crazy. We just wanted to grow. We want Call of Duty to still be here. We want whatever competitive Call of Duty that is in the future to thrive. We just want to enjoy what we love.
100%. And can I add to that just before we finish?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people forget, like COD in itself and gaming in itself is an escapism. Okay, a lot of us didn't have the most social abilities growing up. We maybe had trouble at school. Anxiety. Maybe not from the best family. I know not a lot of people go. A lot of people go through that. It doesn't get spoken about enough, but it is an escapism. At the end of the day, people get into gaming to escape something from, their reality. So they go into gaming, they get into the competitive scene of it, and yeah, people forget that. So COD is like a safe space for everyone. We got into this for the same reason at the end of the day. I'm sure you guys can probably relate to that in some aspect. But yeah, there's always an element of escapism with it,
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of players have that chip on the shoulder. They don't lose that whole escape. It's still, okay, fucking parents arguing, don't want to hear this, So yeah, COD is an escapism. Fucking get into it if you're trying to fucking escape anything from your external reality. And yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sort of waffled there, but yeah.
No, you're good. We love it. But let's finish this up here. I do want to ask one quick question. This isn't really you don't have to answer me. I have a feeling I can ask after. You did message this is happening, by the way. What? Can you say it on the podcast?
That could be in regards to anything. I don't think I can say it on the podcast, but
That's good.
it's to do with my whispers. It's to do with my whispers.
Yeah, the whispers. So we'll finish it up here. We'll finish this up. I do want you to throw out, if you want to do any, as we call it, shameless plugs, whether it's your own, Boston, whatever. Just throw them out there if you'd like. Then we'll close up for the day.
Okay. Shout out Boston Breach for employing me and still believing in myself with the academy. Shout out Shawnee Cod. The guy's bald, so he's incredibly bald. He looks like a thumb. If you can go in twitch.tv/Shawnee Cod, whenever he streams, just go in there and say Mike calls you a thumb, and that'd be great. So, yeah.
I'm gonna do that later.
I appreciate it. He's not streaming today, but he streams it like pretty much every other day for practice. So yeah, if anyone could do that,
give him a "You look like a thumb" from the Passion Pit.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. In regards to myself, I don't really stream much or expect to get viewers from streaming. I'm not that good at gaming. I just know spawns and I know COD, and people as well.
That's what we like, brother.
We love that. Yeah. So last little bit here. Obviously, we got to do the little promos. If you're looking for a new controller, make sure you go to Scuff. Use code WAR on checkout. Get a nice little percentage off. I'm sure there's a Boston one if you want to go there. Go to Boston Breach. I'm sure there's a Boston Breach code for Scuff.
Dude, I don't know.
I'm not okay. I'm gonna stop right there before I keep putting my foot in my mouth. But yeah, use code WAR on your next purchase at scuff.com. Matt, it was a pleasure. Mike,
Absolutely,
it was
brother.
definitely a pleasure. We gotta talk some more sometime, and I'm definitely excited
Definitely.
to see what Boston Breach Academy does in the future. Hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully it's second after Team War, but I know we're a little biased over here.
It's alright. I was biased for War at one point, as I said. I love Kev. I love Team War. They're a good fucking group of guys. You guys are as well. You guys have been fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, and I appreciate you jumping on, Matt, Mike. It's been a pleasure, and that is the episode. I hope everyone has a good night. Catch you on the next one.